Direct variation equations, example 2. A train travels 150 miles in 1 1/4 hours. At this rate, how far will the train travel after 5 hours? Assume that the distance traveled varies directly with the time traveled. Write an equation to represent this situation. So this one isn't actually asking us to solve it, but I will. But we definitely have to write an equation. So let's go back and look for that special sentence that tells us what is x and what is y. Assume that the distance traveled varies directly with the time. So this means distance traveled is y, because the first thing they mention is always y. Then we have that varies directly, or it could say is proportional to, with time. And so time is your x. Just like before, we start off with the generic equation for a direct variation, y equals mx, where m is our slope, or we could call it our constant of variation in this case. Remember, it's rise over run. Okay, just depends on the scenario. We have lots of names for it. X is your x coordinate, y is your y coordinate. Go back and look at the rest of the information given. A train traveled 150 miles. Remember, distance traveled was y, so that 150 is y. In 1 1/4 hours, so that 1.25 is your x, because that's your time. Okay? So we fill in those quantities. 150 for y equals m times 1.25. We divide off that 1.25 so that we can solve for m, because we need our slope. You need to have your slope in order to have the equation. So on the calculator, really quickly, I'm just doing 150 divided by 1.25, and I get 120. So 120 is our slope, or our constant of variation. Now we have to write the equation using this slope. So writing the equation is y equals 120x. Okay? Remember, in the coordinate plane, we've always got x and y, and then this is our slope. If we graphed this line, it would have a rise of 120 and a run of 1. This particular question doesn't say solve, but they did ask a question here. At this rate, how far will the train travel after 5 hours? Well, let's remember that time was x, so we can solve this really quickly and just say that y is equal to 120 times 5. This is the question they're asking us. At this rate, how far, that's your y, will the train go if it's traveling for 5 hours? So 120 times 5, y equals 600. This is a word problem, so you wouldn't just say 600, you would say 600 miles.